it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, My Asexual Life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, so subscribe and hit the bell icon now. So today I've got a movie review for you, and this one is called Little Eggs, A Frozen Rescue. So if you haven't already seen this movie, if you don't like spoilers, please don't watch this. But if you want the film to be spoiled for you, then please continue watching. So what is Little Eggs, A Frozen Rescue all about? So it's a movie I saw earlier today at Kids Club. And essentially what happens is baby polar bear and 3 penguins are kidnapped by pirates from the South Pole. So they get kidnapped by these 3 pirates who have a license to have a circus, but there's not supposed to be any animals in the circus. So anyway, they steal this baby polar bear from its parents and take these 3 penguins. I have to say, these penguins are no ordinary penguins. They're ones that can like DJ and dance, and so they're funky penguins. So they kidnap all of them, and they leave the mother and father with sleep dots. The mother and father polar bear with sleep dots in them, and so the baby bear gets taken away, and they all go to this circus, which is run by these pirates. And when the circus happens, there's an inspector that comes around because the inspector's suspicious or heard that they are keeping animals, and there's no live animals allowed to be in circuses in Mexico, I believe they're in. And so the inspector tries to find them, and what happens is the pirates dress up as a polar bear, and the audience boo because they're expecting a real polar bear. Meanwhile, the penguins have escaped because what they did in their haste to get the penguins and the polar bear actually off the circus stage because of the inspector being there. The guy who did that, he's very he's very unsure of himself, very bumbly. And so he forgets to lock the cage door. So that's how the penguins get out. And then the polar bear they take with them, they become friends. And there's this granny that happens to be going to the circus, and she's got like this kind of like 3-wheeler motorbike with her grandson on the back, with like this big car type thing, this big it's like part of a vehicle, and it's like a cab type thing, and it goes on the back of this 3-wheeler bike, if you like, and I presume it's to take shopping and stuff in. But anyway, that's how the baby polar bear and the penguins escape, and then they go back to Granny's farm. And on Granny's farm, she has a rooster, and the rooster has a wife and two baby roosters, if you like, 2 baby chickens, isn't it? So basically the rooster has a wife chicken and then 2 baby chicks. Got it? I think so. And there's a granny in it. So there's a granny, a human. Well, it's animated granny human, and the rooster's got a mother, which is like a granny to the chicks. But unfortunately, something I really didn't like about the movie is they kill the rooster's mother off. Yes, she dies in it. I'm like thinking, this is a certificate you. Why on earth have they got death in it? But yes, they do kill her off. But she gives wise words to her son, saying, cherish every moment with the kids, you can never get, and the family, you can never get this time back. Don't waste any of it, and promise me you'll get the baby polar bear back to its mother and father, because the polar bear at this point in time and the penguins, they've actually come out of Granny's little 3-wheeler bike with a little, I don't know what you would even call it, cab type thing. They've come out of that and they've gone to the barn, and of course all the animals are afraid because they think that the polar bear is going to eat them. But then the granny, before she dies, the granny chicken, before she dies, she tells her cockerel son, that fact that please get the baby polar bear back to its parents, because so the granny chicken knows that the polar bear, is friendly. It's only a baby. So anyway, they then embark, when the granny dies, the chick granny dies, they then embark on a journey to go to the South Pole. And so it's quite funny. There's quite some hilarious moments where the rooster is literally driving this big ship thing, which is really funny. His wife's there, like his wife, chicken wife. And then the 2 chicks, the 2 kids that are chicks, they escaped the farm and got, and ended up, going with their parents, which they didn't know, they stowed away. And, yeah, so they all end up on this adventure together, and they meet this other, I think it's, another bird, and the bird actually starts taking over the ship and driving, and eventually they reach the South Pole. And what happens at the South Pole is there are these, like, killer whales, and because the pirates originally came and took the baby bear, they crashed the ship, in the pirate ship, into the, like, icebergs and things like that, and it literally has damaged them, and it's caused a lot of damage to the whole environment, basically. And when they go back, the baby bear's trying to find its parents with the rooster and his family, and they can't find the parents because a lot of the Antarctic, or wherever it's meant to be the South Pole, but a lot of the icebergs, um all the ice, it's like, all broken up, and their home is being destroyed, so they need, the penguins have left to go to the other side of the ice cap, or whatever it is. I'm not very good at describing the icy stuff, am I? Basically, there's this mountain thing they've got to go to instead because it's safer, made of ice. That's a quick summary. And so, because the whales, killer whales, keep trying to come into the current icebergs, because the icebergs have already been damaged, basically, by the fact the pirates rammed their ship into it when they stole the baby bear and the penguins. If that makes sense to you. I hope it does. So when the baby bear goes back with the rooster and the rooster's family, and they're trying to find the baby bear's parents, there's a lot of problems because the penguins have had to abandon the that particular place to go to the other better, more safer place. But the mummy and daddy polar bear are still looking for the baby. And so what ends up happening is there's quite a lot of scenes where the rooster actually decides to leave his wife and kids in more capable hands further up, like with the penguins, I think they do, while the rooster decides to go back and try and find the baby bear's parents. But the rooster is in up against all weathers because it's really cold out there, and he's blowing around, and so you don't know if he's going to live or die, basically, the rooster. And eventually he sees the mum and dad polar bear, but and he ends up, the wind takes him down this, like, ice shaft, and he gets stuck and he can't get out. And eventually what happens is his wife, chicken with the chicks, his wife realizes a way she can get him out by disturbing a walrus. It's quite funny, this, like, when I'm telling you, I'm like, this sounds so unrealistic, but it is an animation, it's supposed to be fun. And this walrus is just, like, lying on the ice, and she wakes it up, and the walrus runs after her, and it slides down this, like, ice chute and ends up cracking all this glass down the shaft where her rooster husband is, to set him free. And then one of the polar bears, because the baby bear then sees its parents, and one of the polar bears, one of the parents, then has to cuddle the rooster to bring it back to life because it's frozen where it was. So yeah. So it's a good film. There's killer whales, keep trying to eat them. There's a part where, the baby bear is, like, nearly falling off the ice cliff, and the rooster's holding on to the baby bear. The mother and dad are holding on to the rooster, and the killer whales are trying to eat them alive. And yeah, it's kind of very interesting. I did really like the film. It's very, very young, though, because the baby polar bear is going, "Where's my mummy?" So it's probably for, like, 5-year-olds. It's a certificate you. So it's really, really young movie, but I really enjoyed it. I did like it. I thought it was very, very young, probably a little bit more young than I would usually go to see, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was a good film. No sex in the movie whatsoever. So if you're asexual, you're sex repulsed like I am, it's another one that you can actually watch without worrying about that. But I have to warn you, the granny, the human granny in it that's animated, she starts flirting with the guy who brings her post. And it's really weird. She's literally flirting. She's a granny, so she's got grey hair. She's probably like 80 or something. And she's flirting with this guy who's a postman on purpose, So I found that quite funny, really. I'm like, oh my lord. So yeah, that was really funny. But it's a good movie. I do think there's quite a lot of good storyline in it, quite a lot of action. It's colourful as well. Yeah, there's a song at the end which was really weird. Like, the rooster's wife starts singing this song, which was a good song, but it's kind of like there's no more other songs I couldn't think that is sung by a character. There's music, I think, but there's no other song sung by an actual character in the whole of the movie till this rooster's wife does it at the end. It's quite bizarre that I thought. But it is worth watching, like, on Kids Club, I paid £2.75 for it. It's gone up by 25p. Usually it's £2.50, so they put 25p up now on the kids' movies to make an extra bit of money, which you understand because obviously cinema's business. But yeah, so I would say go and watch the movie, go and enjoy it. Let me know what you think. If you've seen it already, post a comment below. Love to know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and hit the bell icon. If you like superhero stuff, go and grab a copy of my fibromyalgia self-help handbook. This is an autobiographical account. So yeah, and there's Asexual Perspectives book as well. So don't forget to grab copies of them. And I'll see you soon on the next video live stream. Diary Confessions of a Hyperromantic Asexual. 78 Life as Asexual Life is also available now. Go and grab a copy of that. So yes, I hope you enjoyed this movie review. Don't forget to check out the movie and comment below when you've seen the movie. I'd love to know what you think. Take care. Lots of love. Bye.